I've been in sales and sales leadership for a little bit over a decade. I was originally in home remodeling, so windows, roofing, siding, doors, attic insulation, trim work, gutters. And when I moved out of that field, I never thought I was going to go back to in-home sales again. And so I bounced around from software sales companies and cybersecurity companies, and I was absolutely miserable. So I was looking for a role and a next step in my career. And I stumbled across a small HVAC company out of Taunton and Raynham, Massachusetts, and I fell in love with the industry pretty quickly. I love B2C sales. There's something very different about being able to walk into somebody's home, to listen to what it is that makes them tick and what's important to them, and then working together to help solve their problems and meet their needs. We strive to maintain the highest level of professionalism at all times, whether that's our service technicians, our plumbers, our electricians, our HVAC installers, or our account managers. We want to make sure, again, as I mentioned, that you feel comfortable. This home is important to you. It's a humongous financial and emotional investment. It deserves to be treated with that level of care. And we treat it with that kind of gravity when we walk into the home. We want to give you the same respect that we would, to our moms, for the lack of a better way to put it. I always tell people that, when I give them advice or I talk about or how I treat their home is how I would want to treat my mom's home, because, nobody holds you to a bigger standard than your mother. What sets Endless apart from other HVAC companies based on my experience? I think there's a lot of things. The biggest one is that most companies, especially companies who are looking at heat pumps, they tend to just kind of get green in their eyes and they hire salespeople as opposed to people who have an engineering knowledge of this equipment. And that's part of why heat pumps have such a bad name in this industry. Is you get guys who are really excited to make a sale and they'll put a heat pump into absolutely anything. And it's not designed to work that way, right? Especially when it comes to ducted setups. And so, for Endless, we really take a strong approach at making sure that we're designing a system that's going to make sense for the homeowner. I would also say that we have a very consultative approach. So we're making sure that we're listening to the homeowner, what their desires are, what their needs are, and trying to build options that are going to make sense for them and for their family and for their kid and for their dog and for the next family that moves in there afterwards, because everybody's needs are different. Your home is your most expensive thing that you invest in your life, and it's also one of the most important in terms of the emotion that comes with it, and it deserves to be treated with a certain level of care, and we take a lot of pride in doing that.